I woke to the sound of rain and the low murmur of voices from the kitchen. A different kind of morning silence, the kind that holds its breath. No usual clatter of pans, no radio humming with the morning news. Just the drip of the faucet and their hushed, urgent tones. They were at the table, a united front. My mother's hands were wrapped tight around her teacup, knuckles white. My father stood behind her, his posture rigid, a man bracing for impact. "Sit down, honey," Mom said, her voice a strained imitation of warmth. I remained standing. My father cleared his throat. "We've made a decision," he began, his eyes fixed on a point just past my shoulder. "Your brother, he's in a bind, a serious one." The words were familiar, a well-worn path. My brother's binds were a family tradition. "He's been offered a partnership," Mom continued, picking up the thread. "A real chance to make something of himself, but it requires an initial investment." My father slid a single sheet of paper across the worn wood of the table. It was a loan agreement from my private, locked filing box. The one where I kept the inheritance from my grandmother. The one thing she'd left for me alone. The amount was already filled in. Nearly all of it. "He'll pay you back with interest," my father said, his voice leaving no room for the lie it was. "Family supports family." I looked from his set jaw to my mother's pleading eyes. They weren't asking. They were presenting a verdict. The rain tapped against the window like 1,000 quiet accusations. I felt the key to that box, a cold, small weight in my pocket. "Sign it," my father said, the words final. "Or you can find another place to live." I didn't shout. I didn't cry. The feeling was colder, quieter than that. It was the click of a final puzzle piece falling into place. I gave a single, slow nod, turned, and walked upstairs. By the time they heard the trunk of my car slam, I was already pulling out of the driveway, the signed paper left behind on the table. I'd signed it, I just hadn't dated it. A useless, petty rebellion, but it was mine. The apartment I rented was small, a studio with a view of a brick wall. It was mine. That was the only quality that mattered. Their betrayal wasn't a shock. It was the choreography of it that stuck with me. The way they'd cornered me on a rainy morning, using the roof over my head as leverage. They knew I was close to a down payment on a place of my own. They knew, and they'd chosen him anyway. I lay on the floor that night. The city sounds a distant hum, and let the memories come. The loan for his failed band equipment that I'd never seen a cent of. The time my college textbook fund became his emergency vacation. The constant, gentle erosion of my future to shore up his present. But this time was different. This wasn't a few $100s. This was my grandmother's last wish for me, solidified into a bank balance. And they had taken it with the calm assurance of people who believed my purpose was to be their safety net. I spent the next week moving not just my things, but my life. I changed my number. I went to the bank, showed them the undated, likely coerced signature, and started the long process of freezing the transfer. It would be a mess, but messes can be cleaned up. I found the email quickly. My brother, bragging to a friend about his angel investor and his badass new office space. I read it, my heart a steady, cold drum in my chest. Then I smiled. It was a thin, sharp smile. The difference was simple. They saw the taking as the end of the story. They never considered the epilogue. I drafted an email to every name listed on the partnership agreement my brother had so proudly forwarded me months ago. I attached the bank transfer record, the loan agreement with its missing date, and a simple, unemotional statement explaining that the funds had been acquired under duress and were not a gift or an investment from me. I wished them the best of luck in their new venture. The reply came within an hour. "We take the provenance of our funding very seriously. This is concerning. We will be in touch." I knew what that meant. The partnership would be put on hold, investigated. The house of cards they'd built with my money would tremble. The first call to my new secret phone was from my mother. Her voice was a frantic whisper. "What have you done? Your brother's partnership is falling apart. He's devastated. How could you be so selfish?" I didn't answer. The letter I'd left for them, tucked inside my grandmother's Bible on the kitchen table, would have to be enough. "You taught me that family is a chain. I have chosen to be free. You traded my future for his fantasy. Now you can live in it together. Do not contact me again." My father tried, his messages escalating from fury to bewildered negotiation. My brother's came last, a masterpiece of victimhood. "You ruined my life. You were always jealous of me. I stared at the screen, the city lights beginning to glow against the evening sky outside my window. I typed a single sentence in reply. You asked me to invest in your dream, so I did. Now you have the consequences. Then I blocked him. The world didn't feel lighter, but it felt truer. The air in my small apartment was my own. They had always operated on the belief that my love was a renewable resource, a well they could always return to. But some wells run dry not from drought, but from a deliberate, final turning of the soil. In the weeks that followed, I boxed up old birthday cards, deleted family photos, shed the skin of the person I was expected to be. The view from my window wasn't much, just a brick wall and a sliver of sky, but it was honest. I didn't feel happy. Not exactly. I felt resolved. They wanted to give my brother a business built on my stolen inheritance. Now they get to watch him navigate the bankruptcy of their own poor judgment. Family, I've learned, is a transaction, and I have finally closed my account.